In this video, we are going to be integrating. We've got a new symbol. So this symbol, it's a bit like a stretched out S. It means integrate. So this question says integrate this function with respect to x. So we're integrating and we're integrating x's. To integrate, we're going to add 1 to the power and then divide by the new power. And we're going to do one term at a time. So 5x to the power of negative 2/3. We're going to add 1 to the power. So negative 2/3 plus 1 is going to be a third. And then we're going to divide by the new power. 5 divided by a third is the same as 5 times 3. So that's 15. Then we'll move on to the next term. Add 1 to the power. So that's going to be x to the power of 4 now. Divide by the new power. 8 divided by 4 is 2. The negative 7's next. When we integrate negative 7, it becomes negative 7x. And then we plus c. When we're integrating, we're plussing c. We're adding a constant on to the end. That is our answer. One for you to try. Give it a go. So integrate 2x cubed minus 5x squared plus 2x with respect to x. So add 1 to the power, divide by the new power. So the power becomes 4. 2 divided by 4 is a half. The next term, add 1 to the power. So that becomes a 3. And divide by the new power. So 5/3 x cubed. And we've got 2x. So add 1 to the power. It becomes x squared. Divide by the new power. 2 over 2 is 1. And remember to plus c on the end. Find the integral of 5 root t plus 3t to the power of negative 2 plus 1 with respect to t. So at the moment, we've got 5t to the power of a half plus 3t to the power of negative 2 plus 1. So we're going to add 1 to the power. So that will become 1/2 or 3 over 2. And then divide by the new power. Dividing by 3 over 2 is the same as timesing by 2/3. So that will be 10/3 t to the power of 3 over 2. The next one, add 1 to the power. Negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1. Divide by the new power. 3 divided by negative 1 is negative 3. And then the 1, because we're integrating with respect to t, becomes t. And we plus c on the end. One for you to try. Give it a go. So this time we're integrating t to the power of a third minus 5t minus 4 with respect to t. So we want to add 1 to the power and divide by the new power. Dividing by 4/3 is the same as timesing by 3/4. Add 1 to the power, divide by the new power. Negative 4 becomes negative 4t, and we plus c on the end. Here's another question. This time we need to divide through. First, we need to separate out the terms. So when we have a fraction all over, in this case, x to the power of a half, we divide each of the terms separately by x to the power of a half to separate out the 3 terms so we can integrate them separately. So we're going to have x squared over x to the power of a half, 2x over x to the power of a half, and negative 5 over x to the power of a half. And let's just simplify each of those. So when we divide indices, take away the powers. 2 take away a half is 3 over 2. 1 take away a half is a half. Nothing take away a half is minus a half. And so we've got our function ready to integrate. So we're going to add 1 to the power, divide by the new power for each of these terms. So dividing by 3 over 2, same as timesing by 2/3. Dividing by a half is the same as timesing by 2. And we plus c on the end. So for each term, I've added 1 to the power and then divided by the new power. Whenever I'm dividing by a fraction, I flip it over and change it to a times. One for you to try. Give it a go. So divide both terms by x cubed first before we start. So that'd be 5x to the power of -2 minus 2x to the power of -3. Then we add 1 to the power and divide by the new power for both of the terms and plus c on the end. Another one, this time we've got brackets. We're going to need to expand the brackets before we can integrate. So it's x to the power of a half plus 3 times x to the power of a half plus 3. So if I just expand the brackets, when I multiply indices, I add the powers. So a half and a half make a whole. And I've got 3x to the power of a half plus another 3x to the power of a half plus 9. And I can just collect the like terms before I integrate. So I've got x plus 6x to the power of a half plus 9. That's what I need to integrate. To integrate, I'm adding 1 to the power and dividing by the new power. Add 1 to the power, divide by the new power. 6 divided by 1.5 is 4. 9 becomes 9x, and I plus c on the end. One for you to try. Give it a go. So we have x squared times x to the power of a half plus 3. If we expand the brackets, when we multiply indices, we add the powers. So 2 plus a half is 2.5, or 5 over 2. And 3 times x squared is just 3x squared. So now it's ready to integrate. We're going to add 1 to the power. 5 over 2 plus 1 is 7 over 2. Divide by the new power. Dividing by 7 over 2 is the same as timesing by 2/7. Add 1 to the power. So it becomes 3x squared. We go to x cubed. Divide by 3. 3 over 3 is 1. That's just x cubed. And we plus c on the end. This time we have letters, P and Q. We're going to assume they are constants. So they're just numbers. So we can integrate, and we're told the answer. And then by looking at what we've got in terms of P and Q, we should be able to see what P and Q are. So remember, P and Q are just numbers. So we're integrating. So we're going to add 1 to the power. We're integrating with respect to x. So it becomes 3px squared. The power is going to go to 3. And then we divide by the new power. So it's just px cubed. Pq is just a number. When we integrate just a number, like a 2, a 3, a 4, it just becomes 2x, 3x, 4x. So this is going to become pqx. And then I will plus c, even though we know there's no c on the end. So let's compare. So 5x cubed is the same as px cubed. So p must be 5. Then 10x is the same as pqx. P is 5. So 5qx must be 10x. So q must be 2. So we're just comparing each of the terms, and then we can see what p and q are. One for you to try. Pause the video, give it a go. So we're going to integrate, again, p and q are constants, just numbers. So add 1 to the power, divide by the new power, and p over q is just a number. When we integrate, it becomes p over q. X, I can simplify 2 over 6 to 1 over 3. Then I'm going to compare the terms. So I've got 4x to the power of 6, and that is p over 3x to the power of 6. So 4 must be equal to p over 3. P must be 12. Then the second term, p over q must be 6. And p is 12, so 12 over q must be equal to 6. So q must be 2.